For millennia, the Vorg have traveled across the cosmos, driven by an insatiable obsession with the hunt. Their entire civilization, culture, and technological advancements have been shaped by one central tenet: to track, hunt, and conquer the most dangerous prey across the universe. The Vorg come from a harsh, arid planet, where only the fittest survive. The environment shaped them into the ultimate predators, physically superior beings with unmatched agility, strength, and intellect. They evolved in isolation, honing their hunting skills over centuries. The result was a species that viewed the act of killing not just as a means of survival but as an art form, a sacred ritual that defined their very existence. Every Vorg undergoes extensive training from a young age to become a master hunter, their bodies and minds sculpted to be the pinnacle of precision and efficiency. Their weapons are fine-tuned, and their technology is designed specifically to aid in the hunt, from advanced cloaking devices that make them invisible to any detection system, to energy weapons capable of vaporizing entire cities in an instant. Yet, despite all their power and superiority, there is one thing the Vorg lacked: an opponent worthy of their abilities. Time and time again, they had tracked and hunted lesser species across the stars, defeating each one with ease. Their victories, while numerous, had begun to feel hollow. The thrill of the hunt had been lost in the monotony of effortless kills. The Vorg yearned for a worthy adversary, a species that could challenge their strength, intelligence, and cunning. When the Vorg first discovered Earth, they were intrigued. It was a young, seemingly primitive planet, home to a species that had managed to survive through wars, environmental destruction, and countless other catastrophes. At first glance, humanity appeared weak, disorganized, vulnerable, and unprepared for the kind of advanced warfare the Vorg wielded. But as the Vorg studied Earth from the shadows, they realized something more profound. This species had an incredible resilience, a survival instinct that set them apart from anything the Vorg had ever encountered. Humanity's ability to overcome extinction and adapt to its environment was extraordinary. And it was this resilience, this unpredictability, that sparked the Vorg's interest. They decided that humanity would be the perfect challenge for their next great hunt. The Vorg would come to Earth, stealthily at first, as invisible predators descending from the stars. And they would find out, once and for all, whether humanity's survival instinct could truly rival the most seasoned hunters in the galaxy. The Vorg's invasion of Earth began with a brutal and unrelenting assault. Massive ships cloaked in darkness appeared over major cities, descending swiftly from the sky without any warning. Their weapons unleashed waves of destruction, annihilating entire urban centers and reducing them to rubble in mere moments. Governments and military forces across the globe were caught off guard, their defenses ill-prepared for an enemy of such sophistication. Panic spread like wildfire, and for the first time in history, the world found itself united in a shared moment of terror. It seemed as though there was no hope. Humanity's greatest nightmare had arrived, and it would be swept away in an instant by the superior might of the Vorg. Yet, despite the overwhelming odds, humanity did not give in to despair. It was in these darkest hours that the true nature of the human spirit began to emerge. Instead of crumbling under the weight of the Vorg's attack, the people of Earth rose to the challenge. Though the first responses were disorganized and chaotic, it became clear that humanity had something the Vorg could not comprehend: the ability to adapt, to evolve, and to fight back with ingenuity. While Vorg ships remained cloaked and invulnerable to conventional military tactics, a breakthrough came from an unexpected source. Dr. Elena Park, a physicist working in a remote research facility, made a discovery that would change the course of the war. Dr. Park discovered that the Vorg ships were vulnerable to electromagnetic pulses, a weapon that humanity had only recently begun to experiment with. While the technology was still in its infancy, it provided the first glimmer of hope for the resistance. The military, once disoriented and helpless, began to reorganize. They developed new countermeasures, using electromagnetic technology to interfere with the Vorg's cloaking systems. The ability to see the enemy, even for just a moment, made all the difference. Humans began to outmaneuver the Vorg, launching surprise attacks that forced them into unpredictable situations. Guerrilla tactics became the cornerstone of humanity's resistance, and small groups of soldiers, scientists, and civilians began to strike back at the invaders, sabotaging their technology and gathering crucial intelligence. The Vorg, who had once believed they were invincible, began to experience their first true setbacks. While they still had technological superiority, they were now being forced to think on their feet. The humans, no longer passive victims, had learned how to fight. They were leveraging every advantage they could, harnessing the terrain of Earth, exploiting the environment, and using unexpected strategies to counter the alien invaders. The war was evolving, and with each new victory, humanity gained strength. They had begun to understand their enemy in ways the Vorg could not have anticipated. As their counterattacks grew more sophisticated, the Vorg's overconfidence began to wane, and they realized that they were facing something far more dangerous than they had imagined, a species that would not be easy prey. After months of brutal warfare, the final battle loomed on the horizon. The Vorg's invasion had initially been swift and seemingly unstoppable, but humanity's ability to adapt, learn, and fight back had turned the tide. The Vorg's once mighty fleet was now on the defensive. Their ships, once cloaked and undetectable, were now vulnerable to human tactics. Humanity had reverse-engineered enough alien technology to devise new weapons capable of breaching the Vorg's once impenetrable shields. The Resistance, now fully unified and organized, launched a coordinated assault on the Vorg's Central Command, the heart of their invasion fleet. The battle that unfolded was nothing short of legendary. Earth's combined forces, using every scrap of alien technology they had acquired, launched a massive multi-pronged attack on the Vorg's flagship. The alien fleet, which had once seemed unstoppable, was now forced to retreat as humanity's forces began to overwhelm them. The Vorg had underestimated the sheer determination and resourcefulness of humanity. They had thought they were hunting prey, but they had instead found a foe who could not be defeated so easily. As Earth's forces closed in on the Vorg flagship, the final, decisive blow was struck. The ship's shields fell, its cloaking system was disabled, and with a devastating series of strikes, it was reduced to rubble. But victory did not come without a price. The war had taken a heavy toll on Earth. Cities lay in ruins, and millions of lives had been lost. Yet, in the face of unimaginable destruction, humanity stood victorious. The Vorg had come to Earth expecting to find a species they could easily crush, but instead, they had encountered a race that refused to be defeated. Humanity had not only survived the invasion, it had overcome the greatest challenge in its history. The Vorg had left the planet, but they had learned a valuable lesson: humanity, with all its imperfections, was not to be underestimated. It was a species capable of rising from the ashes, of fighting back against even the most overwhelming odds, and of emerging stronger from its struggles. In the aftermath of the battle, as Earth began the long process of rebuilding, the world paused to reflect on the true nature of the victory. It was not the technological advances or the weapons that had secured humanity's survival, it was the human spirit, its adaptability, its ability to learn, and its unbreakable will to survive. The Vorg had sought prey, but they had found something much more formidable, a species capable of standing tall against the most dangerous predators the galaxy had ever known.